Hello, everyone. It is your favorite review bro. The neon blue here to neon blue all over this. All right, I don't know where that was going. So this is set code WCD. This is by Opacana. Um, Yeah, the set is the Amazing Digital Circus. So I can't wait to see Pomni. All right, let's get into it. All right, whenever an opponent, uh, whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you, you may put that many +1/+1 counters on target permanent. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice this. If you do, and you have exactly one life, you win the game. That's interesting. I don't know if there are any effects in MSCM that are like, hold on, actually, we have technology. Um, I mean, there's Painlands, which could do something. I need to. Um, yeah, it looks like there's not a way to just like immediately kill yourself if you want to. So, I guess that's cool. I shouldn't be chewing on gum while I'm recording a video. Um, I guess sadistic indulgence. Technically, you can pay one life to target the same permanent over and over again. Okay, yeah, you go sadistic indulgence, uh, Marlicia's inner despair, um, win the game. So like your opponent's end step, I'm gonna target my sadistic indulgence, um, 19 times. I'm gonna be at one life. I'm gonna untap. I'm gonna win the game. So yeah, seems like that's a big oversight. Um, could be cool, I guess, but it is very much A plus B turn 3 win. Probably more of a turn 4 win. You have to untap. You get your upkeep, but you know, I could see a world where this first ability is interesting, but most of the time you're just gonna build up a board and then alpha strike. So yeah. Whoa. Skyula, Last of the Valkyrie. I did play, to be clear, I did play with the Amazing Digital Circus during field test. So that's cool. We love that. So there's going to be a few cards here that I recognize. Um, this card makes 2 legends for 5 and is like decently statted. Never creature dies, you may pay 1 and a green if you do return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, this card's cool. It doesn't really feel like a mythic because it has sort of a ATB and it's not like a super repeatable effect. Um, but it's cool. Blessed Bonds, enchant creature, indestructible. Enchanted creature has indestructible as long as you control another creature. Whenever an enchanted creature attacks, you may pay 1. If you do, return target permanent with mana value 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. That's cool. I don't think it'll be playable because you sort of see this at 3 mana in Modern. I forget the name of the enchantment, but it's the one from MH2 where you can return something at the beginning of your upkeep. It does grant indestructible, which is like cool, I suppose, and have indestructible itself, but yeah, I don't know. It feels like far too many steps to be playable. Cage Dancer. All right, let's talk about Masquerade. You may cast this card face down for 3 mana as a 2/2 creature with Ward, Sacrifice a Permanent. Ward, Sacrifice a Permanent. Turn it face up at any time for its Masquerade cost. Okay, this is different. Okay, this is different than Field Test. Because in Field Test, you had to sack a permanent to flip it. Um, okay. So this is like morph, but the morphs are better. I guess that's interesting. It's. I mean, I'm just gonna judge it as morph. Yeah, I'm just gonna judge it as morph because, I mean that ward is significant. Sometimes you do want to remove morphs, but it does make it a lot like more safer if you want the effect. But then you do lose the ward. Okay, this isn't. I mean, it's interesting. I think I feel the same way about it as I do about like morph. So, it's cool, I guess. Um, Target creature gets +1/+1 against indestructible until end of turn. Okay, that's a cool thing to have like face down in case you're like, oh, it's board wipe time. I guess I'll flip this up and save my biggest thing. Or, oh, destroy target creature. No. You and creatures you control have ward 1. Each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. POV, you fucking hate red. Okay, not really, but yeah, I mean this is good. This is cool. This is like a specific hate bear for like, but it's also like this is fine. I could see playing this in the sideboard of like the Legends deck. So that's cool. Maiden of Eternities, enchantment creature monk. Whenever cast an enchantment spell, it gains flying until end of turn. Whenever this deals damage to an opponent, you may pay X in a white. If you do, return one artifact or enchantment with mana value X from your graveyard to your hand. This is kind of cool. I wish it returned to the battlefield. I feel like you could get away with that, especially because you're paying for its mana cost. But this is safe. Yeah, this is very safe. I could see this playing in Commander. It's not probably constructed playable. Mariltia. Dominus of Scary. Scary. +1 up to. I think this is Pomni. Yeah, I think this is Pomni. Okay. Up to one target creature you control gets +3/+3 and gains first strike until end of turn. Or you can detain target creature or destroy all tapped creatures. As the alt? I don't know. I think that alt's a little bit weak, but I mean, I guess it's a fine Planeswalker. It's just weak. I mean, the first one, the uptick is like good. It's on rate for like effects we've seen from like Elspeths before. But the -2 seems kind of bad. It's very safe. This set so far feels very safe to me. Besides this thing, which, but it's a mythic. Let mythics be silly. Exile up to one target non-land permanent until this leaves the battlefield. Yup. Scry 3, then gain 3 life. Yup. Create a Writ. Colorless artifact token will sacrifice this token and destroy target permanent you don't control. This is interesting. So you exile a non-land permanent if you want to keep it gone. So you can flicker something or you can remove something temporarily. If that thing comes back, you can destroy it, or you can just get the value of having a thing that just blows something up. That's cool. Although this does hit lands, which is funny. I don't know if white's supposed to do that, but whatever. Double strike. When this creature enters or is turned face up, you may turn up to one other creature you control face up or down. I mean, if you're turning this face up, you're probably just going to win the game because it's hitting for 10. You go 3 mana, it's a 2/2, swing and then hit for 10, and you're in a white deck, so you've probably done some amount of damage at that point. Yeah, I mean, this curves out very nicely. Especially, at any time for its Masquerade cost. So your opponent doesn't block your face down 2/2, and then you just dome them for 10. I mean, that seems pretty good. Although it is 7 mana over 2 turns, so you're investing a lot of resources into it. But, I don't know, that feels worth 10 damage. Although you do become more vulnerable once you flip it over. It's interesting. I guess against a deck that runs this, you sort of just don't tap down unless you have like 10 or more life to spare. But you don't tap down on your opponent's turn 4. And you just gotta have the removal for it, I guess. Urban Patrol Blimp. Flying, Vigilance. Whenever this artifact enters or attacks, you may choose another target creature or vehicle. If you do that, permanent loses all abilities until another permanent is chosen this way or leaves the battlefield. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. It is 7 mana, so it's alright, I guess. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of bad for 7 mana. I don't know. I don't know if I would pay for this if it was an artifact creature. Um, yeah. I mean, it does have vigilance, which is cool, but I don't know. You do have to tap down to crew it, so. Anointed Armor. If damage would be dealt to equipped creature, prevent half that damage rounded up. Okay. If equipped creature would deal damage to an opponent or permanent an opponent controls, it deals double that damage instead. This is cool, although it doesn't feel constructed playable, but it's cool. Arms Dealer's Favorite. Search your library for an order or equipment card that shares a name. The permanent you control, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. I mean, it's bad. This card's, I mean, I don't know. You gotta have it already. So, seems kind of not playable. Yeah. Ascendant Awareness. Creatures you control have vigilance. I mean, yeah. Okay. Ascendant Awareness. Creatures you control have vigilance. Each creature you control can block an additional creature each combat. Creatures you control have vigilance. Each creature you control can block an additional creature each combat. Okay. This is cool. Yeah, this is a pretty valuable enchantment. Feels very much like a, I don't know. This, I mean, it's cool. I don't know what deck it would go in, but it seems interesting. Enkava, the Lantern Bearer. Legendary creature spirit. When Enkava attacks, permanents defending player control lose Hexproof, Shroud, and Board until end of turn. Situationally useful. From the Valkyrie. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature is an angel, has flying, first strike, gets +2/+1. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay that. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. I mean, this is cool. Yeah, I like this. I mean, I don't know if a 3-mana aura is playable in MSEM, but it's cool. Games Tester. When this creature enters, search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Exile this creature, exile target artifact or enchantment. Okay, that's cool. It's 5 mana, though, so probably not super great, but... I mean, Commander? Hello. Highborn Brigader. When this creature enters, search your library for a creature card. If its mana value is 2 or less, or if you've tapped or detained a creature you don't control this turn. If you do, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. I'm not sure this is worded correctly. I feel like it would have to be a... Search your library for a creature card with mana value 2 or less. Period. If you tapped or detained a creature you don't control this turn, you may search for your library for a creature instead. I think that's technically how it's supposed to be worded. And if you do, reveal and shuffle. Imprison. I played with this a lot in field test. I like this. This is cool. Yeah, I mean it's a very effective version of like, it's just like a slightly better Banishing Light, which I enjoy. Ingenious Hostess. Okay, Masquerade. When this is turn trained up, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, that's cool. I mean, you do have to pay 5 mana for it, so that's fair. But I mean, it's cool. I like this card. Yeah, this card is cool. Inquisitive Tatspiri. Whenever this creature blocks or is blocked by a creature with power 3 or greater, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Blocks or is blocked by a creature with power 3 or greater. Okay. I mean, a 2/2 lifelink's already good in limited, but this is cool. Jollymo's Grandest Form. Lifelink. Oh my god, it's Kaufmo. When this creature is dealt non-combat damage, sacrifice it. And it's A lifelinker that can masquerade on turn 4. This last line's really sort of only relevant in red. Probably. Maybe like some white stuff, but at the very least in limited, it's a lot more important. I would say in constructed, this is probably like weirdly scary. I mean, you do have to pay 7 mana over 3 turns, but hitting for 7. I mean, you're not playing it over the double striker, though. Although, Lifelink's fucking good. It's a 14-point life swing, which is crazy. Yeah, I don't know. This card could be really good, or it could be low-key unplayable. I could see it going either way. Lady of the Summer, Masquerade. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. Face down creatures you control get +1/+0. Okay, that's fun. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, you're already paying 3, and then you can flip it up as like a combat trick. That's cool. Shula, Dove Dancer. Holy shit, Ragatha. Target 1 or more creatures cost 1 to activate. Spells and abilities your opponents control that target 1 or more creature cost 1 more to cast. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. Protects your stuff. Bar the exit, exile target artifact or creature. If it's tapped, its controller sacrificed it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's cool, I guess. Bomb runner. Cool. Flying guy. Coming to an understanding, creatures you control gain indestructible in a turn. At any moment, may sacrifice a non-land permanent. If no opponent does, you get a swing bigger. Frontiersville mascot. Okay, that's fine. Skimming over the commons. Yep, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. This is a cool, constructed card. Or like, yeah. It is a cool card for limited. Sorry, I mean a limited card. Masked Surgeon. Okay. Yup. Ringleader, make a bear. Attach equipment to target creature. That's cool. This creature has first strike. Okay. That second ability is weird. Like, you sacrifice it to, like, do graveyard hate. Feels like a lot of hoops to jump through for what is usually, like, a insignificant effect. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. When this creature becomes the target of an aura spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. That's cool. I played with this card in field test. It hasn't changed, but it's very simple. It's cool. I never used the Masquerade ability. I just played it as a Wall of Omens, basically. But it was cool. I also played with this in the sideboard because I was playing a Flicker deck, and so yeah, destroying enchantments and shit is cool. Riot Control, Automaton. Where the okay, that's fine. Riot Control Automaton. Whenever this creature deals combat damage, you may pay that. If you do, detain target permanent. Cool. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. First strike, detain. Cool. Unstoppable Friend. Oh, that's cute. We have you surrounded. This spell does damage equal to the number of creatures you control, plus the number of enchantments you control to target attacking or blocking creature. Cool. Flavor. We love it. Alright. Top of the tippity top. Lake Core Defenses. Kicker. Counter target spell or ability that targets you or a permanent you control. Then if this spell was kicked, it deals 3 damage to any target. Okay, so it gets to be a bolt plus a like protection spell. Okay, that's cool. I could see this having play somewhere. I don't know if it feels like a mythic, but it's certainly powerful. Oh my gosh, it's Kinger and Kane. Whenever this creature attacks, scry 2. If you scry this turn, you may draw a card instead. When this creature leaves the battlefield, you may detain target creature planeswalker. Seems kind of bad for 4 mana. Charge. Taborgoni's Grand Plan. Tabriongnes. Tabrion... Whatever. Flying counter. This question enters whenever you draw 1 or more cards. Oh. That's interesting. Okay. Inquests trigger on card drawn now. So it's kind of like Sagas, but you can rush them if you draw cards. Okay, that's cool. Put a flying counter on target permanent. Until end of turn, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, draw a card. Until end of turn, whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Oh. Oh, so the idea here is you want to do all 3? Or you want to put a flying counter on target creature, untap, and then pop off with these last 2 abilities. That's cool. Deep Sight Siphoner. Ward 2. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, scry 1. This creature gets +2/+2 and can't be blocked until end of turn. This costs 1 less to cast for every spell you've cast this turn. This is not limited to once per turn. You slam this in limited, you just are like, okay, I dome you for 6 unblockable because I have 6 mana available. Or you like cast 2 spells and you're just like, I activate this 12 times. Yeah, this card's really fucking powerful actually. Because you gotta cast 2 spells and then have like 5 blue mana open, and then you dome your opponent and they can't block. And this has Ward 2. Yeah, that's pretty scary. Disgrace Sparkhand. Blue or black spells you cast cost X less to cast, where X is the number of rogues you control that dealt combat damage to an opponent this turn. That's cool. It seems like rogues is type here, but come on. It is a 3 mana 2/4. Yeah. And you have to hit your opponent to actually benefit from this. It's kind of ass. Edectic Artisan. Detain target creature until end of turn. That creature can't... Okay, I know what detain does. Detain another target creature you control with mana value 3 or less. Create a token that's a copy of that creature. That's cool. I like this. I fuck with this heavy. Late charge Exosuit. When this artifact enters, you may attach it to target creature you can to a creature you control. Does not target, notably. Whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, you may put a +1/+1 counter on equipped creature. Interesting. Okay. That's like you give any creature the Brineborn Cutthroat effect, which is cool. Summon a game. Target opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a creature card. You may cast this card without paying its mana cost. I mean, it's 5 mana, but it's bad. This is bad, because you're probably going to hit a 2-drop for 5 mana. Unless your opponent is playing a very specific, like, Sneak and Show deck, this is not good. This is a sideboard card that is rarely playable unless the metagame is absolutely fucked. But maybe that's a good thing to have. If the meta's fucked, we might want this. But I just would rather have bribery, I think. Like, you get to go into your opponent's deck. Well, I guess it also mills? Is that what this is? Your opponent's playing a control deck, you just pay 5 mana to win the game? Yeah, your opponent's playing control, you just pay 5 mana to win the game. This card is weird. Probably needs to be changed. Just make it bribery. Honestly, what's wrong with bribery? There's nothing wrong with bribery. I love bribery. Okay? And it answers the same like decks that want to cheat out creatures and doesn't just completely obliterate control for no reason. Maybe you put this in the side, like a one of in the sideboard for the control mirror. Your opponent's like, aha, I tap, like, like your opponent finally taps out and you're like, haha, you stupid idiot. I cast the summoning game. And you have to mill yourself out. It's kind of funny. It's not a good idea, but... Oh my god, it is. This is Kane. I figured it out. Tabragoni, Minister of Transport. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery or vehicle spell, or a spell with flash, you may pay red. If you do, draw a card, then discard a card. Opponents can cast spells only anytime they could cast a sorcery. Four mana and you have to pay to loot when you cast a non-creature spell? Really? This just seems really undertuned. This whole set to me has felt very undertuned. Maybe the multicolored is supposed to be where the power is, but this card seems fucking ass. Doo-doo from a butt. Zanri Idel Iceling Scion. Hello, Zanri. Put a stun counter on target tapped non-land permanent you don't control. Okay, for 4 mana, that's the uptick. Make a wolf. Chill. Target opponent gets an emblem whenever a creature you control attacks, put a stun counter on it. This sucks. This card is so bad. 4 mana for all this? Really? No, I'm shocked as all. Ancient Mossback. Whenever you scry, if this is untapped, you may draw a card. Discard a card. This gains hexproof until end of turn. Tap it. Okay, this feels very dirtily, but sure. Counter target spell and choose 1. Tap up to 1 target creature. Up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. I like this. This is a fun cancel. The spell can't be countered. Choose 1. Draw 3 cards. Gain control of target creature with mana value 4 or left. I mean, it's interesting, but it is 6 mana. But it's probably fine for limited. Should have been an instant. We could have made it an instant, chat. It's 6 mana. To draw 3 cards, this could be instant. This could be an instant speed. Charge, Grand Theft, scry 3, draw a card, gain control of all permanents you own, then create 2 treasure tokens. Okay, so turn 1, you scry 3. Turn 2, okay, this card is crazy, actually. Because what it's doing is, okay, you are a blue deck, right? So you probably want to play like a more controlling game. But, you know, now it is turn 3. Last turn you scried 1. Okay? Now this turn you have untapped and you've drawn your first card. You trigger 2. 2 triggers 3. And so what's happening here is you have just looked at the top cards of your deck, picked the best thing that costs 5 mana, gone up 2 mana for 2, and up a card. And so you've ramped, did card advantage, did card selection, and now get to drop a 5-drop? If I'm not mistaken, on turn 3? This is ridiculous. And if you play a dork, turn 1, then you're dropping a 6-drop? And you're drawing a card? This is insane. This card is ridiculous. Why is it making 2? Oh, it's tapped treasure tokens. That's slightly better, but still crazy. Yeah, that's still ridiculous. Because this cantrips. It's a delayed cantrip, but it cantrips. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. It makes me think of the, it doesn't matter. Yeah, there's a reason blue doesn't make a ton of treasures anymore. Deceptive Appraiser. Gain control of target artifact you don't control with mana value X plus 1. Mana value X plus 1 or less. Activate only if this creature dealt combat damage to an opponent this turn, and only once each turn. Control of target artifact you don't control. Okay. I'm going to skim through these uncommons. Fabricate. Search your library for an artifact card. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Alright, that's chill, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Aerial Commander, flying. Our opponent controls is detained, put a counter on it, detain target creature. This is cool, it's fine. Hexproof. Target you control gains hexproof until end of turn. 2 mana, flash hexproof, crew 1. That's cool. Heavy Lifter Dirigible. When this attacks, you may pay that. If you do, return target non-land artifact or creature to its owner's hand. If it's tapped or you control it. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. Sorry. Non-land artifact or creature to its owner's hand if it's tapped or you control it. Okay, I understand what this is doing. I get it. That's cool. Hired Thief. Whenever this deals combat damage to an opponent, may return instant sorcery artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. This costs that much less and can't be blocked this turn. Now this creature can't do that costs. Sorry. Okay, that's a repeatable bolt, I guess, but you do have to pay 4 mana every turn to make it unblockable. You don't have target rogue creature. That's interesting, I guess. It's not that bad. It's I don't know. Yeah, rogues aren't going to be that big, so this feels fair. An unregulated route. Until I make a giant fucking changeling. But, don't worry about it. An unregulated route. Create 2 3/3 white bird creature tokens with flying. Okay? If this is cast during your turn, you may scry 3. Alright, I like this. That's cool. But Brightside Poet. When this creature enters, scry 2. This mana can't be spent to cast a creature spell, but it can ramp. Alright, shout out to Blue Ramp. This is not good enough to see play. Cartel Conjurer. When it enters, choose 1. Target creature is on his hand. Target instant sorcery from your group. That's a versatile. That's actually like a really good. It's not a young pyromancer, but 4 mana creature that bounces an instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. If you need that effect, this is the best one because it'd also be a bounce. Yeah, it's cool. This is cool. Falsifying Records. You and target permanent you control gain hexproof until the beginning of your next turn. Turn up to 1 target creature to its owner's hand. Target player shuffles their graveyard into their library. You draw a card. Okay. I imagine you get through these inquests pretty quickly. But, this one's fine, I guess. Eager Salvager. Turn 1 target artifact from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. Yeah, we have that in artifact form, I'm pretty sure, but it's a 1/1 flyer. Flash. Except this creature, discard a card, then draw a card. Wait, I'm sorry, what? I guess it's just like, if it were to be removed, you can discard a card to draw a card? What weird card. Entrepreneurial Gossip. Skulk. Whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, look at that player's hand and the top card of their library. Yay, Fate Seal! Alistin Gunslinger. Ignore all effects that would prevent this creature from untapping. Okay. If you say so. Ignore the entire effect or just for this creature? It's technically not clear. Creature gets medicine +1/+1 until end of turn. Uncapped, but that's cool. Heavy Bomber. Yep. That's a good common. Hyperspeed Ancient. Flash. Spells you cast during an opponent's turn cost 1 less to cast, and you can draw a card. I like this a lot, actually. This is a neat little design. Information Overload. Target player taps X untapped creatures they control, where X is the number of cards they've drawn this turn. Although this is a really strong limited card. Anyways. You have a lot of tapping in this set. So, Yeah. Ministry Inspector. When this creature enters counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. This is fun. I wish it was like a 2/2. But, you know, 1/3 is fine, I guess. You can flicker it, which is funny. Priest of Lun, the Stormwing. There's a lot of onboard tricks with this, though. Or onboard counters. When enters, make a Stormcrow. The beginning of your upkeep, if you control another creature with flying, you may scry 2. Okay, that's limited. Return to the battlefield under control if that permanent. Okay. When this creature enters, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Chill. Because one of those cast, if you sacrifice a non-token permanent this turn, look at the top 5 cards of your library. This is carryover for when Masquerade did something different. I don't know what this works with now. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. That's barely worth 2 mana. This card's not good. Phoenicia Guidebot. Add blue. Only cast artifact, instant, sorcery spells. This is the second blue mana dork, which is interesting. Whenever you have an artifact spell, another target creature gets bigger. Take a moment. Untap 2 target creatures. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, that's fine. Vengeant Victim. Sacrifice this, tap target creature. Okay. I guess. It's cool. It's cool. It's chill. Alright. Adziana Void Rose. Oh, that's Zubul. Hell yeah. Masquerade. Okay. When this creature enters or his turn fades up, return a non-legendary creature card with Masquerade or Morph from your graveyard to the battlefield, face up or face down, put a lifelink counter on that creature and this creature. That's cool. Specific, but it's cool. Charge. Failure. Damn, lock me up then. Target creature or planeswalker's controller sacrifices it. Okay. Discard a card, then exile your graveyard. Wait, you discard a card, then exile your graveyard? That's crazy. Return target creature card from a graveyard to the battlefield under your control with a finality counter on it. Discard a card, then exile your graveyard? This is weird. Because it's removal and a 3-mana reanimate, but you have to be able to, like, discard a card after this second effect. And you have to do it, like, turn 4, so you're not getting it on turn 3. Yeah, weird. Probably very good with, like, blood effects, but, like, blood, you know, the tokens. Annihilating Aura. Choose target creature. Each other creature gets -X, where X is that creature's power. I mean, you can just play Damnation. Oh, but it saves the creature itself. Alright, that's cool. Ashiok Bemused. Target player mills 5 cards, then you surveil 1. I remember this. Create a 1/1 Black Nightmare Illusion creature token with flying. The ultimate is kind of insignificant. Search your library for up to 10 non-land cards, exile them. Yeah. This card got played in field tests, and it was cool. People liked it, so I'm inclined to like it too. Ashiok's Judgment. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles a card from their hand. What? Sorry, I got distracted. This is going to do a player exiles a card from their hand. This can be really fucking mean. Yeah, you have like 4 creatures on like turn 4. You just like discard your hand, control player. Or I don't know, I guess it wouldn't be control player, but just discard your hand, whoever I'm playing, for both playing mid-range decks. Certainly a weird card. I could see it being complete total dog shit, but I could also see it being very good. Because you grant evasion and that effect. Depraved Oracle, Masquerade. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, you may pay that much life. If you do, draw a card. No, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, you may pay that much life. If you do, draw a card. So you're encouraged to hit with little things, and it only triggers once each turn. You can turn it up whenever. So if you're like, oh, I'm going to draw a card here. I mean, it's fine. It's cool. Hall of Nightmares, an additional cost to cast the spell, Torment Yourself. I love this line of text. It's my favorite line of text in like MSC stuff. Target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-land card from among them. That player discards that card. Yeah, so this is basically Thoughtseize, but you can do other stuff if you want that are upsides. So this is really, really, really fucking good. Best discard outlet. I mean, it's just Thoughtseize, but you lose 1 more life. Or you can do other stuff that could be beneficial. Yeah. A bad idea. This card is gonna get nerfed if it gets into the format. But yeah. Keeper of Jurel Necropolis. Hexproof from right and from blue and from red. Man, I wish they would let you use commas for this shit. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature with toughness greater than its power dealt combat damage to an opponent this turn, create a 1/2. Alright, big butts matter, I guess. It seems kind of doesn't connect with anything, but, you know, it's a rare, so it's fine. Mob Enforcer. Untap this creature, put a +1/+1 counter on it, activate only once as each turn as a sorcery. That's cool. Yeah, that's chill. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's very strong, actually, because it's, you know. It's cool. It's fine. This is, yeah. Oh, when it's turned fade up, draw 2 cards. Whenever another permanent you control is turned face up, each opponent mills 2 cards. That's interesting. There's like black mill in this set. When this creature enters, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, if you do, you lose life equal to that card's mana value. If non-black mana was spent to cast a spell, you may return a non-land permanent card this way instead. That's interesting. So I can resurrect polytheism. That's cool. Cartel Pistoler. When this creature attacks with 1 or more other rogues, you may pay black. If you do, target creature gives -1/-1 until end of turn. Interesting. You have a lot of stuff where it's like you gotta pay more to do the effect. But yeah, this card's fine. Gun. We love Gun. Forbidden Elementalism. Sacrifice a non-token permanent or pay 2 life. If you do, draw 2 cards. Okay. Put a ward, pay 2 life counter on target creature you control. A nothing counter? Gotcha. It's kind of, this second ability is kind of nothing. So you immediately do this, then you do 2. And then you untap to do 3. Black and colorless creatures you control gain menace until end of turn. Alright. Yeah, I mean, this card's fine. It's like a, you know, 3 mana, draw 2, lose 2, with upside. Circus Chef's Doctor. Sacrifice another Creature, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you gain 1 life. Okay. Yeah, this is interesting, I guess. I mean, you have 2 persisters. You can just loop them, but... Well, no, because it costs a mana, but... You know what I mean. Whatever. Dying to get in. Sacrifice a creature. Each opponent sacrifices... creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. Turn target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If the spell is kicked, return it to the battlefield instead. That's cool. Gaze into the red door costs 1 less. If an opponent was dealt combat damage this turn, exiles 2 cards from their hand. Okay. Yeah, it's a Mind Rot with upside. If you played a 1-drop and then you hit for Menace or whatever, you're like, nope, get rid of 2 cards. That's fun. Brain Rots are cool. Glimpse Hidden Horrors. Surveil 1. Then draw a card and lose 1 life. Okay. Choose 1. Draw a card and lose 1 life. Or the next face down spell you cast this turn costs 3 less to cast. Alright. This is interesting. I like this card. Greedy Thug. Alright. A creature enters tapped, and you can pay 6 mana for it to be a 6/6. Okay. That's limited. Whenever this creature does combat damage from an opponent, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand, the other into your graveyard. Okay, and you can masquerade it. Okay, that's cool. I don't know why it's a scout and not a rogue. You seem to have a lot of rogues. Maybe that's intentional. Maybe you want to separate factions or something. Practice. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature you've attacked with this turn. Alright, we get to talk about practice. I like practice. This card is cool. Death Touch. When this creature enters, it deals 3 damage to any target that was dealt damage by a creature you control this turn. So yeah, this card's cool. For each creature you've attacked with this turn. It can possibly cost 1, and you get a 3/2 Death Toucher. Although I will say, it deals 3 damage to any target that just kills it because it has Death Touch. So, I don't know why it doesn't just say destroy target creature, but... Because, yeah, people are going to miss that. So, it should just say destroy target creature. Recaptured Experiment. Menace. When this creature deals combat damage to an opponent, that player loses X life, where X is the number of creatures you control with toughness greater than their power. If combat damage from an opponent, that player loses X life. X is the greatest number of creatures you control with toughness greater than their power. Okay, Big Bucks Matter card. Probably not playable. Snowfang, Cauldron. If X is 4 more, scry 2, make a bunch of flying bats. Okay. That probably ends games in limited. Exile target battle creature, planeswalker. Are there battles in this set? I haven't seen any. With mana value less than or equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control. This card's kind of bad. I get the food token, but like... Creatures you control have ward, pay 2 life, and pay 2 life. This creature gains flying until end of turn. Activate only once each turn. So you give your whole board flying if you pay 2 life per creature. Okay, practice. Surveil 2, draw 2, lose 2. You have a lot of draw 2, lose 2 effects in this set. When this creature enters, create a bat, sacrifice a bat, create a tapped treasure token, activate only as a sorcery. Oh, what happened to that bat? Okay, this is fine. Elimination contest. Oh my gosh, it's literally fucking Gangle. I was joking about the Amazing Digital Circus, but you know, here she is. That's funny. Elimination contest. You may pay red. Practice. Cost 1 less. Destroy target creature, planeswalker, and enchantment. This spell was kick. Destroy target artifact. You can get an additional artifact if there's an additional artifact to target, and you pay red. But I don't know. It's common. In Glamored Hostess, Masquerade. When it deals combat damage to an opponent, you may gain 3 life. Okay. Fine. We're going to go through these quickly because I'm starting to lose patience for the commons. Draw a card, lose a life. Cool. Sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. Turn creature with sacrifice. Okay, sure. Freelance Oni, Menace, untap this creature, activate only once each turn as a sorcery. Okay. Harvest Vitality. This creature gets +2/+2. Or target creature gets domed, you gain 2 life. Fine. Limited. Sure. Hypnotizing this. Bleacher's blocks. Okay. Lethaean Payment. Target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-land card from it and exile that card. And that player mills 2 cards. Okay, sure. You may switch its power and toughness until end of turn. This creature gains lifelink until end of turn. Okay. Machine Gun Maverick. When this creature attacks, you may pay 1 and a black. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life. Yup. Okay. Masquerade. When this creature enters or is turned face up, destroy up to 1 target creature that was dealt damage this turn. Fine. I mean, we've seen this effect before. There's like redundancy in these effects, right? Because like this thing kind of does the exact same thing, but I guess it has practiced instead of masquerade. I don't know. Retreat to the Shadows. Till end of turn, target creature gains when this creature dies. Return it to the battlefield tapped or it's owner's control. Okay. Yeah, it's undying. That's fine. Secret Siphoner. I love this art. Flying. Exile this. The next time an opponent would draw 1 or more cards. If they've already drawn cards this turn, instead they draw a card and you draw a card. It's like Loki not worth 3 mana and losing a flyer. Also, this card does not look like it has flying. I'll just throw that out there. I guess it's the spirit is the thing. So it doesn't really look like it has flying. Arbiter's Gavel. When an opponent casts a spell, if that spell isn't a creature spell, on their turn, equipped creature deals 2 damage to that player. Okay, that's fine. You're paying 4 mana to turn this on? This is ass. This is ass. I'll say it. This is ass. Yeah, this is ass. Inciting a Riot. This deals 3 damage to each player and Planeswalker. Okay. Target creature deals damage to its controller equal to its power. Okay. Okay. Well, you just wipe the board. You're going to untap. I guess if there's a big creature, you just make them dome it. But if you've killed all their creatures and you have a big creature, this makes you dome yourself. That seems silly. To 1 target creature gets trample and +3/+1 until... Okay. I don't know. These 2 effects shouldn't be on a board wipe. But alright. Nightmares on Tour. Put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. That creature gains haste until end of turn, and it must attack this turn if able. Until end of turn, counter all triggered abilities of that creature. And another battlefield. You're paying 5 mana for a Sneak and Show, and you felt the need to nerf the creature that you Sneak and Show in? I mean, we already have effects like this in the format. I don't know why you feel the need to nerf it. This is obviously bad. I remember thinking this was AI art and then being embarrassed. So apparently this isn't AI art, although it does kind of look like it, but it's not, I think. I think that was the conclusion that I came to, was that this isn't AI art. It's just an unfortunate art style. Lay battery tank. And trample. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, if it's not your turn, untap Lay battery tank. Deals 2 damage to any target. Crew 2. That's good. Yeah, that's good. This is good. I don't know if it's constructed playable, but it's certainly solid. You get to dome down 2 X2s for the rest of the game. You get to dome your opponent for 2 for the rest of the game. Yeah, this is strong. Lay tower shattering. Choose 1. We're almost at an hour, folks. You may choose another for each spell your opponent has cast this turn. Your artifact loses indestructible until their turn. Destroy it. Change the target of target spell or ability to a single. Yeah, this card is good. Yeah, sure. This card's fine. Mastermind Nekisoth? But this isn't a legendary creature? Oh, Nekosynth is probably a race of... Okay, they're literally abstracting. I know I made a joke about the amazing digital circus, but... I mean, come on. It writes itself. Their eyes are literally doing the abstraction thing. Alright. When this creature deals combat damage to an opponent, exile the top card of that player's library. Until end of turn, you may play that card and spend mana as though it were any color to do so. That's practiced. Okay. Yeah, this is fun. Doesn't have any evasion, so it's probably not constructed playable, but it's cool. Righteous Longfang. When this creature enters, you may put an equipment card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield. The creatures you control get +1/+1 and have trample. Alright, that's cute. Satchel's Betrayal. Deal 7 damage to each battle, creature, planeswalker, and player. Sure. Each player discards their hand and draws 3 cards. Okay. Each player sacrifices 2 non-basic lands. You have to have enough creatures to do the practice for a board wipe. I don't know. This seems not worth it most of the time. Tamer of Giants. Haste. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it has haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. That's cool. Tension Wire Balance. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, put a distraction counter on this. This deals 1 damage to that player. Whenever you attack with a creature, you may remove a distraction counter from this. If you do, discard a card, then draw a card. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 5 or more distraction counters on this, sacrifice it. This is a fun, flavorful thing. I don't really know how to analyze it. Punishes you for playing non-creature spells, and this is an enchantment. I would guess this one is bad, but it's fun. It deals X damage to any target where X is 1 plus the number of colors among creatures that attack this turn. Yeah, that's fine. You can deal 6 to face if you're lucky enough, but... you can also just attack with 1 scout and then dome your opponent for 6, which is also probably how this gets used, in all honesty. So, because yeah, there are cheap creatures that are, you know, every color of mana, and I think even evasive ones. So, I don't know. This could be 2 mana, dome your opponent for 6, which could be dangerous. Crycle Sharpshooter. Haste. Equip abilities that target Crycle cost X less to activate, where X is 1 plus the number of equipments attached to him. Okay. You snowball with this. That's fun. And it's a 2/2 haste. Yeah, this is cool. It's Gummy Goo. Eccentric Engineer. Haste. Choose 1. Exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play it. Add red. Alright, these are both cool. Fiendish Solo. Practice. Until end of turn, whenever a target creature deals combat damage Exile that many cards from the top of your library. You may play X of those cards this turn, where X is the number of creatures that attack this turn. So you're already getting... Okay, yeah. I mean, you're already getting benefits for doing practice. And you can't... There's not a case scenario where you... Yeah, this card seems weird because you have to connect. It has, like, really bad blow-up potential. But usually you're just casting it for 1 if you have 3 creatures that are attacking, so... Why would you give something haste when it has practice? It seems like very silly. When this creature enters, you may discard a card. If you do, it deals X damage to target permanent, where X is the mana value of the discarded card. Okay. Sure. No, it seems fun. You could, like, do some madness shit with that. Very good with, like, the madness burn card. Very good with a lot of madness cards, but... Fire Wand Phoenix. Create a Phoenix. An enchantment creature token with flying and haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Alright, this seems bad. Why don't I just lightning strike your face? Like what? Exile target land or artifact. Okay, Stone Rain. Hell Fuel Bike. Flash. Trample. Haste. This is a creature in addition to its other types as long as you control another non-token creature. Okay. Why does it have flash and haste? Why am I flashing this in on your turn? I guess it's just flashy. It's a flavor thing. Seems unnecessary. Persuasive Promotion. Gain control of target creature until the end of turn. Untap that creature. Combat damage to a player or battle, create a treasure token. Sure. Ring of Fire. Creatures you control have haste. Whenever a creature you control attacks, you may have it get +1/-1 until end of turn. Okay. Scattering Truth. Practice. Draw 4 cards, then discard 2 cards at random. And you can get this for one mana. Probably you're getting it for 2 or 3 mana, but I don't know. Discarding cards at random is not super popular, but it might work. Who knows? Flying. As this creature attacks, choose from among haste for a strike and trample. It enters with the counter of the chosen ability. I mean, why would you ever use practiced with haste? Whatever. I guess if you're paying it for 7 mana. Start the real show. Target creature you control gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. If it's equipped, it also gains double strike until end of turn. Okay, that's cool. Chained Elder Firemaw, big ass practiced creature. Alright. Dealer's Deck. When this equipment enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. Okay. Yeah. You may discard a card if you do draw 2 cards. Equipped creature has, if an effect would cause you to discard 1 or more cards at random, you choose which to discard instead. Specific. But you do have to equip it to a creature, I guess. I don't know. This doesn't really want to be an equipment. It doesn't do equipment things. Okay, this is a fun way to kill your opponent if you have like 8 whack. 8 whack, hit you for I swing 6 fucking silly dorks. Okay, take 6 to face. I mean it's silly. But it's fine, it's fine, you know, it's fine. Hey, so whenever this creature attacks, the next artifact spell you cast this turn costs 2 less to cast. Sure. As an additional cast, discard a card. Draw 2. Okay. I like this. Well, making a tap treasure token means you're kind of paying 1 for this. But not. I mean, I don't like the idea of getting. I don't like making a treasure because you untap on turn 3 and you drop a 4-drop. So I'm not a huge fan of that, and you've just done a 2-mana effect already. Yeah. Fend off the flies. Choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. If you've cast an instant spell this turn or control a vehicle, that creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Those creatures fight. So many hoops to jump through for +1/+1. Which is like, you have to jump through a hoop for a +1/+1. And you're already paying bite mana for this? Okay. Flamethrower Mole. Haste. This creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Okay. Flash. When this creature enters, you may pay 1. If you do, choose 1. This deals 1 damage to any target. Create a treasure token. Okay, that's interesting. And Flash. Alright. Being able to hit down a 1-drop randomly is valuable, but this card's weird. It's probably fine. You can go, oh, turn 2, I'm going to make mana and then pop off and have a 1/1. Jolly Stalker. Okay, I'm glad my Stalker's jolly. As long as it isn't equipped, it attacks or blocks each combat if able. It's a 5/4 first strike. Okay. Lightning Familiar. Add red. Till the turn you don't lose this mana. This creature gains flying until end of turn. That's cute. Pretty strong common, in all honesty. Lucky Dice. Whenever a equipped creature attacks, you may discard a card at random. If you do, draw a card. This is terrible. This would be bad. Mind Boss. When this creature enters, choose 1. If you attack with 2 or more creatures this turn, you may choose both. Make a tap treasure token, put a counter on target creature. Fine. Military scout plane. Pay 1, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Sick. When this creature attacks, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Sure. Draw a card, activate only this creature has dealt damage to an opponent. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. It's a 5-mana 4/3 flyer that draws cards. But you do have to crew it, but... Sudden Comeback. Flash. Enchant creature. When this aura enters, enchanted creature gains first strike until end of turn. That's cool. Yeah, combat trick that sticks around. Tick-ridden Hippo. Or Jeepo. Enters, create 2/1/1. That's funny. You're making bugs. My ticks are going to hit you for lethal. Waste Tamer Batra. When it enters, create a Volt Rifle. Gets +1/+0, and equipped creature has first strike during your turn. And equip 2. Withering Sunstroke. Kicker. This spell deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Then if this spell was kicked, you gain 4 life. Okay, I mean, yeah. Limited card. Shoutouts. Alright. Now we're on to green. Guidance of the Extinct. Destroy up to 1 target enchantment. Return up to 1 enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Untap all creatures you control. Put 2 +1/+1 counters in target permanent. It's okay. 4 mana for an instant. I guess you can, like, untap and... I mean, it does a lot of stuff, but... You know. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's good. It's hard to analyze this card. Because you have to be up against a deck that you want to destroy an enchantment. And you don't have to, but... You know. Could have been, like, just choose 1 or more. Honestly. Modal spell. Tagdron's Call. Search your library for a green creature card with mana value X or less, where X is 1 plus the highest mana value among creatures that died under your control this turn. Put it onto the battlefield and shuffle. Is 1 plus the highest mana value of creatures that died under your control this turn? I don't think this is good. Maybe it's another thing for 8-sack. I don't know, but... My instinct says this card is bad. Yeah, that is what my instinct says. My instinct's never been wrong before. I says lyingly. Blessings of the Martyr Queen. When this enchantment enters, put a creature with mana value 7 or less from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. You're paying 5 mana. Why are you restricting this? At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures you control. This card's weird. Probably bad, because... I mean, you might want to put the 7-drop into play, but... I don't know. Gem Rye, unfazed. Chad, it's human Pomni. Wow. I don't know. I'm running out of these jokes. Because I need to find a Gangal. I need to find a Jax. That's the 2 that are left. Gangle and Jax. I guess one for each aura attached to her. Add X green mana where X is the number of aura attached. So you have equipments and auras as separate. Is archetypes. I don't know if it's an archetype. Maybe this is just a one-off rare, which I guess is fine, but it's interesting. Practiced. Trample. This creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you attacked with this turn. Okay. Yeah, I like this. This feels like a very practiced card. And then you get a big body for it. Oh my god, it's Gangle. Red ribbons. Gangle. Trample, Vigilance. Whenever another attacking creature you control with toughness greater than its power dies, you may put X +1/+1 counters on this creature, where X is that creature's toughness. Okay, so big butts again. Okay, yeah. Shout out to big butts. Palina Dririu. Elf Detective. Now this is Jax. Whenever you scry, you gain 1 life for each card you looked at while scrying this way. Scry 1, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay. Sure. We're gaining life with this, I guess. Primal Communication. Enchanted creature has tap. Until end of turn, play the top card of your library. Play with the top card of your library revealed, and you may play creatures and enchantments and lands from the top of your library. Alright, this is kind of interesting. Yeah, I think this might be very good, actually. Might be really good. But it is an aura, so you can get 2 for 1 pretty easily, but I don't know, it's just weird. It's kind of interesting. Subject 1951. If you would gain life, put that many +1/+1 counters on this creature instead. Oh, guys, look, it's Queenie, because it's abstract. I'll stop. I'll cut it out. No, I won't. Targon, Verdant Archon. Exile the 2 cards from graveyards. If a permanent spell card is exiled this way, make a 1/1 Saproling. Okay, sure. Scry 2, draw a card, create a Saproling. Okay, sure. Sacrifice any number of Saprolings you control. Search your library for that many number of green creature cards. Put them onto the battlefield. A good Planeswalker! I love this Planeswalker. This Planeswalker is cool as fuck. This is chill. I mean, it's probably not super good, but I like it. I like its design. Beneficent Wanderlust. Enchant creature. When this aura enters, scry X, where X is the enchanted creature's power. Sure. When an enchanted creature deals combat damage to an opponent, you may look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them and put it into your hand. For the rest, okay. It's a lot of card advantage on an aura. Well, potential card advantage, I guess. I mean, you're only drawing 1 card each turn, but it does have a lot of card selection, so that's cool. Willful Pollution. Well, if it isn't, how is this a green? I guess it's combating the Willful Pollution. Sacrifice a land, then add 3 mana of any color and surveil 2. So you get a free cast. And you can sacrifice another land, create 2 bugs with flying. Okay. Return up to 1 target land from your graveyard to the battlefield, then sacrifice a creature. This dirtles a lot, I think. I don't know. It's kind of weird. This card's kind of weird. Demonstration match. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Then this spell is kissed. You may copy it twice and choose new targets for the copy. Okay. So you can start a full tavern brawl if you kick it. That's cool. Elder Lokar, when this creature gains... Okay, that's fine. Death Touch. This creature gains lifelink and +2/+2. Activate only once each turn as a sorcery. I played this briefly in my Mutants deck because it was a mutant. And it was kind of silly. We like it though. Momentivoros Kagi. Whenever a creature an opponent controls has no name or shares a name with 1 or more other creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on this. Wow. Counters. Okay, I need to actually analyze this card. That has no name or shares a name with 1 or more other creatures. Oh, this triggers off of face down cards dying, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's what it does. Yeah. Okay. Search the area. Reveal the bottom card of your library. If it's a land, put it onto the battlefield tapped. Return target basic land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So you can hella gamble. This card sucks. You're rampant growthing for this much mana. What? What? Alright. I don't even know where to begin with this. It has to be basic from your graveyard? Really? This set feels very allergic to fun, ironically. There's so much here that is very like... and I say this lovingly as the creator of this set. It feels a lot like when I made Dio-Realm, where there was just not a lot of exciting effects. It was kind of a boring set. You got to take a little more risks. You got to put a little more power into the top end, into the rares, and even into the uncommons. Because this is an uncommon? Really? You get a worse rampant growth at uncommon. I don't know. This card's so undertuned. It's kind of ridiculous. Seizure and Requisition Agent. When this creature enters, scry 2, then destroy target artifact or enchantment with mana value X or less, where X is the total cards you've scried this turn. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is a 3/2 that can blow up an artifact or an enchantment when it enters. Usually like 2 or less, but it can be bigger, depending on the deck you're playing. Sir Wyblood of Holost. When it enters, make a food, sacrifice X tokens, put an ore or equipment card from your hand or graveyard with mana value X onto the battlefield attached to Sir Wyblood. Activate only once each turn. And this is interesting. This is like a cool uncommon. See, this is the type of effects you gotta push. All right. Stubborn Stitcher. When this creature enters, exile up to X cards from graveyards, where X is the greatest toughness among creatures you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on this for each card exiled this way. All cards from graveyards. Okay. Okay, sure. Yeah. Oh, my neck hurts. Ugh. Surreptitious Compassion. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature has trample. When enchanted creature attacks, choose 1. I will say there's a lot of discrepancy in the art style. That sort of happens whenever you make a custom Magic set. But like the difference between this art and like this art And even something like, well, this one feels more in line. But like, you know, Disney Dark Souls, you know, like Silent Hill. It's just very jarring, is what I'll say. Sorry. This has so much words. Whenever an enchanted creature attacks, choose one. Where X is the toughness of other creatures, where X is the number of other creatures. Okay, that's interesting. It's probably fine. White Tiger Companion. When this enters, create 2 cats. Prevent all damage that we dealt to cats you control this turn. This is a good card. You can flicker it and make more cats. It's nice. Addition to the landscape. Search your library for a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Okay, we got a 3-mana Rampant Growth. That's cool. This guy. You may pay 3 life as a kicker or sack a token. When this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. If the spell was kicked, instead put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with toughness greater than its power. Okay, you know, big butts. It's cool. When this enters, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Basic land card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Okay, this is cool. It has wings, but doesn't have flying. It just has reach, which... I don't know about that. Experienced Harpoonist. Another reach card. This one should have reached. This creature gains your choice of Death Touch first striking the end of turn. Activate only once each turn before combat. I like that. It's a clean design. And it'll cost to cast this spell. Sacrifice a creature with power 1 or less. You get a 5/5 trample. I mean, yeah, I guess in limited, this is probably pretty strong. Holostian Korjak. Whenever this creature enters and... Okay, you have a one-off saddle without reminder text. Crazy work. This creature enters, and whenever it attacks while saddled, you may scry X, where X is the number of creatures that entered under your control this turn. As Flash. This is a crazy common. 4 mana for a 4/5 with Flash, so you block, and then you just get to scry a shit ton. Well, entered under your control this turn, so... I don't know. I mean, you get to scry. It's a big body with Flash. The Indefatigable Man-Cat. Alright. Haste at the beginning of combat on your turn. It gains vigilance until end of turn. It also can get a bigger butt. Sure. Informant Merlady. This creature enters with a defender counter on it. Whenever you cast a non-green spell, remove all defender counters from this creature, then scry 2. Okay. Engaging multicolored shit. Kept Attack Wolf. Nah, that's funny, because you keep it attacked. Okay. Left to the elements. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. If a creature you control attack this turn... Okay. Disenchant. Dome a creature with flying. Give something trample race. That's pretty good. Sure. We love scrying. We love snakes. Primal Reversion. Enchanted creature gets +2/+1. You know, the settings for this and tone, just a little off, I suppose. Maybe I'm being too pessimistic. No, this does match the architecture seen in other cards. I'm being too mean. Although buttons and a belt. So, I guess that's what time it is. And a hoodie. Sacrifice this aura. Target face down creature owners turns it face up. This ability can't be countered. I mean, you probably do that on your own shit most of the time, right? Yeah, you're probably doing that on your own shit 95% of the time. I mean, it can be really annoying. This is a weird... I mean, it's a common. So, you're probably doing this a lot in limited. Rooftop Watcher. This creature can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. Aura spells you cast that target this creature cost 1 less to cast. Sure. Speaker of the Spheres. When this creature enters, you may return an aura card from your graveyard to your hand. If this spell was kicked, instead return that to the battlefield attached to this creature. That's sick. Sophisticated Barman. It's a dork if you've scryed or surveilled this turn. Or no. So it's just a dork, and then it lets you do Warburg if you scryed or surveilled this turn. Gotcha. Sturdy Pitchfork. Whenever a equipped creature attacks, untap a basic land you control. Sick. That's good. Timberize. Lignify. Gotcha. I think they've walked back the Lignify effects. They said that it's a pie break, so I would just look into that. I don't know if we have any Lignify effects in MSEM, but I don't think it'll be too powerful to cause many issues. But there it is. Twisted Rage. You can kick it for black. Target creature you control gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. If it was kicked, the creature also gains Death Touch. Don't be fucking doing this. No. Don't be putting Death Touch and Trample on the same spell. If you don't know why that combination is bad, you only have to assign 1 damage to each creature. This should not be a combo. That's silly. That's silly. It also doesn't explain how it works on the card. The only way that people are going to get this is if they have this specific knowledge about how Trample and Death Touch works together. No, this card's not. This card makes me a little upset. I'm not going to lie. All right, on to the multicolor cards. Zone of Truth. Cards can't be cornered. Tokens can't be created. Spells can't be copied by other spells or abilities. Sacrifice this. Detain target creature. Activate only as a sorcery. So this is a Silver Bullet card that I think I talked about. I don't know how much this changed, but I don't know. MSEM doesn't seem to like Silver Bullet enchantments that just sort of shut things off. And this can shut off a lot of cards and a lot of decks by just being like, nope, no more tokens. It's like, okay, well, I guess I don't know what deck specifically in MSEM right now would get fucked over by this spell. But yeah, you can't conjure cards. You can't make copies. I don't know. Silver Bullet type card. We'll go down the colors. Shield Charm. Target creature you control gains hexproof. Untap one target non-land permanent. Detain target creature. You gain 3 life. Okay, this is cool. The first time you cast a non-creature spell, each turn choose 1. Detain target non-land permanent. Put a +1/+1 counter on another creature you control. Yeah, these are both cool. I don't think either of these are super playable, but maybe the Shield Charm in the right deck. Dawn of the Scales. Whenever a permanent Riki dealt damage to this turn dies, create 2 treasure tokens. Dealt damage to this turn dies. Okay. Return target rogue card from your graveyard to your hand. Activate only as a sorcery. So this doesn't really relate to this at all, but cool. Rogues, I guess. Okay. Big rogue. We love rogues. Practice. Hey, so at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, draw 2 cards, then discard a card and you lose 1 life. Okay, I like this. Non-token creatures you control have haste. Very strong. You may pay X life, sacrifice this. Untap up to X target creatures you control. After this main phase, there's an additional combat step followed by an additional main phase. All right, I think this one's probably fine. Although it should say either other non-token creatures you control have haste, or it should have haste and then have other non-token creatures you control have. I guess it's cleaner. It's 1 line, but you do have to realize, this also has haste. Reway, Bound Deity. Practice, Trample Vigilance. Discard this card, create 2 guys. So you can get practiced earlier. That's cool. I like this. Elephant Spirit. Oh my goodness. It's Sparky, the first abstraction. Okay, I'll stop. Mistress of Cats. When this creature enters, create a 2/2 red cat creature token. The next creature spell you cast this turn has practiced. Alright, sure. Yeah. Sudden power up. I've seen discussion about this card. This card is actually very cool. I do like it. Although that is just Donald Trump up there. I'll point it out. That's just Donald Trump. You got a tie and everything. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like politically brain broken and see Donald Trump fucking everywhere because maybe I have Trump derangement syndrome, guys. What do you think? Leave the answer in the comment below. Does the N3 on blue have Trump derangement syndrome, or is he just crazy? Is he stupid? Like this video to crucify the N3 on blue. What am I fucking talking about? Whenever an enchantment enters into your control, but a bonus one calls a counter on target creature you control, then if that enchantment is an aura, scry one. Okay. Oh, well, that's okay. When creatures you control, enchantment creatures you control. Alright, that's cool. Not probably constructed playable, but it is still cool. Izuki, Savani's consort. Ward, exile a card from your hand. Performer spells you cast. Performer spells you cast and face down creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Okay. Whenever you or another permanent face up. Well, whenever you turn another permanent face up, put a +1/+1 counter on this and gain 2 life. This ability triggers once each turn. I think this makes slightly more playable. I guess Masquerade specifically. And you have to discard a card to remove it. Yeah, I could see this making the Masquerade deck a thing if this gets in. Progression of Needles. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a permanent, you gain 1 life. Whenever you sacrifice a non-token permanent or a permanent, turn a permanent face up, each opponent loses 1 life. Okay, sure. Fortress. Big-ass plane. Whenever an artifact enters or attacks, create a colorless cargo artifact token with sacrifice this. You may cast creature spells or artifact this tells turns as though they had flash. Okay. Yeah, I like the flavor of this card. I don't know if it's super playable. It's 5 mana for a 4/8 that you have to crew. Lakor Transformer. You may cast spells as though they had flash. Whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, this artifact deals 2 damage to any target. This ability triggers only once each turn. This is very strong. Pretty good. I kind of like this card, but I think it's pretty tuned. Because you can just, play during your opponent's turn because all your spells have flash. Duchess Arraign. Spider Mutant Noble. Reach Death Touch. Other spiders, mutants, citizens, and peasants you control get +1/+1. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Okay. Sword Grimoire. Whenever each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. The first time each creature you control with toughness greater than its power deals combat damage to an opponent, you draw a card and lose 1 life. It's not a Bay ability, so you can kill yourself with this. Eric's Keys. Oh my goodness. When this enters, choose an opponent. Equipped creature has protection from the chosen opponent. Sorry, y'all. From the chosen opponent. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to the chosen opponent, you may pay 2. Fucking Christ, man. I can't even read. God damn, my dyslexia is kicking my ass today. Whenever this artifact enters, choose an opponent. Equipped creature's protection from the chosen opponent. Right, that's wild. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to the chosen opponent, you may pay 2 if you do destroy target artifact or enchantment that opponent controls. This is a rare and it just hoses artifact enchantment decks. Kinda. But it does give it protection, which makes it unblockable. This card's very difficult for me to analyze. Because you probably just blow it up. And you're not really... you're paying 6 mana for this effect. I don't know if you ever want to do that. Eric. Waziri's right hand. Oh my gosh, it's Bubble. This is Bubble then. Or an equipment spells cost 1 less to cast. Equipment abilities you activate cost 2 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the mana cost to less than 1 mana. Equip creatures you control have vigilance. Coward, let me cast for free. But yeah, this discounts a bunch of the auras and equipments. Capital Archives. Whenever you scry, you may put them into counters on this. You control get +3/+3 and gain trample and hexproof until end of turn. Activate only if there are 10 or more charge counters on this. This is kind of bad because you gotta scry a lot. I guess. I don't know. This card. I don't know how to judge this card. This card hurts my brain. I don't know how much you're gonna scry in a normal game. I haven't looked up that. I don't know. I guess if you've play tested with this card. Jan, Committed Investigator. The first time you scry each turn, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample until end of turn. That's cool. Scry 2, create a treasure token. Yeah, okay, I like this. Sawblade Game. Discard any number of cards. When you do, an opponent chooses one, then chooses one for each card. You do, each opponent chooses one. Chooses one card you discarded, then chooses one for each card you discarded. The same mode can be chosen more than once. So you discard 2 cards to get all 3 modes. And your opponent gets drained. Your opponent discards a card. And you draw a card. This card sucks. This card is fucking terrible. It's a sorcery? I think I talked about this card when I looked at this set for field test. This card has not gotten any better. This card still is maybe the comically most terrible card I've ever... This card is so underpowered. I understand you want to do the effect of playing the minigame, but your opponent gets drained, and that costs you a card. You don't get to pick these. Okay, so you discard 1. Your opponent's like, fine. Because you're paying 3 mana. All of these are 1 mana effects. What are we doing? Alright, whatever. This card is beyond terrible. I'm sorry if that's mean, but this card sucks major ass. It's actively a detriment to the player who casts it. It's like... I can't think of very many situations where this is usable. Wait, the same mode can be chosen more than once? Okay, so I discard 12 cards. My opponent is like, okay, fine, I'll discard my hand. What? Or your opponent's just like, okay, fine, you can loot. That made the card worse. The fact that you can't force your opponent to pick a mode by discarding enough cards. If this was like an X spell, it'd be chill. If it was like X, blue, black, your opponent chooses X modes, the same mode can't be chosen more than once, and then your opponent has to choose to discard their hand. That could be cool. But you're paying with your card advantage, which is one of the most valuable resources, maybe the most valuable resource besides your last life in the game. I don't know. This card's pissing me off. Wazari, Circus Founder. Whenever an attacking creature dies, put a loyalty counter on it. Choose an opponent. They may pay 3 life if they don't return up to 1 card from your graveyard to your hand. What the fuck? This card's also terrible. I'm paying 4 mana of specific pips. And my opponent gets to choose whether or not I get to regrowth. And this thing starts at 1 loyalty? I mean, in theory, it gets big if you have, combat shit, but like, I don't know. They did Kane dirty. Wooburg, Chandra. Okay. Isn't this the art from... I thought this was the art from Midnight Hunt or Crimson Vow. Maybe it's edited because there's different colors of mana. All right. Expanding Horizons, Chandra. Draw a card, then choose one. Chandra deals 1 damage to you. Okay. Discard a card, then put a loyalty counter on Chandra. Why do I have to discard to uptick? Oh, well, I guess I drew a card. So that's fair. All right, that's a cool uptick. Put 2+1/+1 counters on up to 1 target creature or vehicle you control. Untap that permanent. I don't know when. I mean, I guess it's there to defend itself. So like after you attack, you can untap a creature. Discard your hand, draw 4 cards, add Wooburg. I don't know if this card gets played, but it's fine. It's much better than Waziri. I mean, this is what the set's named after, man. Really? You couldn't put a little more sauce into it? They did my boy Kane so fucking dirty. All-Seeing Stone. Create a treasure token. This ability costs 1 less to activate if you've scryed this turn or drawn 2 or more cards. Okay, weird. Situationally good. I think there's a lot of cards in the set that want to pay 8 mana to scry 10. The Halberd of the Founding. Equip creature gets +1/+1. It has first strike, hexproof, lifelink, and vigilance. Okay. Equip 5. This costs 1 less to activate for each enchantment, instant, or sorcery spell you've cast this turn. Alright, that's chill. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Beer Garden. Fortified land is indestructible. What? I guess this is like... Fortify. Okay, I understand how it works now. Fortified land has tap 5. Put an indestructible counter on target creature. The big top. Okay, 1 less to activate as long as you control a performer. Fortified land has tap. Pay 1 life, add 3 mana of any one color. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Fortified land has tap. Target creature gains haste until end of turn. Okay, that's chill. I mean, you could pay 1 for this effect and not have to sacrifice tapping a land to do this, so... But it is colorless, I suppose. Fairies Wheel. That's funny. Fortified land has draw a card, then discard a card. These seem really dirtily and bad and aren't worth the mana. The fortifications. Fortified land has tap. Exile the top card of each opponent's library. You may play cards exiled this way until the beginning of your next turn, but you still have to have the right mana to cast it. So this is only working in, like, specific scenarios or 5-color decks. Weird. Kamigawa Data Capsule. Okay. Additional cost, discard a card. Sure. Whenever a creature does combat damage to an opponent, draw a card. I don't know if that's worth it. You go -2 to potentially go plus 0 in 2 turns. Alright. A creature has reach and first strike. Whenever a creature card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, the creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Alright, that's chill. Sanguine Boots gives a creature lifelink. That's fine. Saw. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. Whenever equipped creature attacks, you may sacrifice a permanent other than that creature or this equipment if you do draw a card. Sure. Doll Collection. When this artifact enters with 4 charge counters on it, remove a charge counter to make a doll. That's cool for, like, sacrificing stuff. I think it made a lot more sense when Masquerade made you sack something, but I think it's probably... That's funny. They have... Isn't this, like, trying to take the idea of the unset? I'm trying to remember the name of the unset. Unfinity, but like taking it a little more seriously. It's kind of cool. Whenever a fortified land becomes tapped, you may scry 1, scry 2. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool. When you scry 2, it isn't. This is like the one fortification that looks very much worth it. This one too. Yeah. Equipped creature has tap, add 2 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell that shares a color with this creature. Sure. Yeah, why not? Hazoret's Bark Ride. Add red or draw a card, then discard a card at random. If you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. That's kind of fun. It's a callback. I like it. Wandering Scaredy Crow. This creature can't be blocked by birds. That's funny. When this creature enters, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. All right, that's funny. I love can't be blocked by birds. So specific. Sign enters tapped. You can add white or make a citizen if you control 3 or more artifacts or enchantments. You can make a citizen only if you scryed or surveilled. Make a citizen if there are X or more creatures in exile where X is the number of players. Weirdly changing wording to fit commander. But, okay. Yeah. Maybe you exile 1. Then in 1v1. Activate only if you've cast an artifact or instant spell this turn. This one seems a lot harder to activate than this one. And then if no player controls an artifact or enchantment. I don't like this one because you can't play to it. Like you have to hope your opponent does it. They're fine. Opulent Study Hall. You can add a white or a colorless or scry to. Love these lands though. These lands are sick as fuck. All right, well, that was my review. I think overall this set is very undertuned with random peaks of, like, insanity. God, I'm still thinking about this fucking card, man. Why? Why is it so bad? There's not even, like, a cool ultimate to, like, work to. You just destroy a permanent for 4. What? Give me like a -6 that says you win the fucking game or something. Or like, basically you win the game. I'm paying 4 mana and I'm in 4 colors to cast this shit and I don't get to... It's the name on the fucking set and it's so underwhelming. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be digging into this card as much as I am. Shout out to Gangle. There are some really cool cards in here. Don't get me wrong. I really like this card. This card seems very interesting, very strong. This card, like... Yeah, there are cards in here that I definitely like. So it's not like I'm not saying you're like a bad designer or that that the idea for this set is gone. I do like a lot of the mechanics. I think maybe the inquests could be changed a little bit, but I really do see still a lot of the old Masquerade DNA in this set. I do like Practiced. That's very, very fun and very cool. I really like this Planeswalker too. It's pretty simple. It's not even like super constructed playable, but it's just like a solid design. But I would say overall, I don't feel like this set is polished enough. I think you take a lot of the backbones and start over. A lot of the like structure of this set. Because like Practice is a really cool mechanic. I think it has a ton of potential, and I do like scrying as like an archetype, and you know Kicker's obviously good, and Masquerade definitely can be good because Morph is cool, but yeah, I guess it's just like I don't know. I feel like this set is a little bit all over the place in a lot of ways, and I guess that makes sense. It is a circus, so. It's an amazing digital circus, if you will. Shout out to Pomni. See if you can find the secret Pomni hidden in this video. Oh my god. 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 Holy crap. Holy crap. Secret Pomni. Wow. Wow.